Nye McGee with EURweb.com. Alison, hello. Thank you for giving me your time today to speak about Dune Prophecy.
Of
And
course.
absolutely. Now, my first question to you, first of all, as you know, or you probably know, they sent us some screeners, to prepare for these interviews. And let me just say, I am so excited. After watching the first two, I cannot
Oh,
wait. This is dynamic. Okay, so
oh, thank you. Thank you. That means so much. I mean, it's been such an incredible journey getting here. And I can't tell you how nice that is to hear.
yeah, the first episode does a great job of setting up these players, these characters, and what's to come. So, on that note, as we all know, Dune is a beloved and complex story with deep themes and a loyal fan base. So,
Yes.
what were the biggest challenges or priorities for you as a showrunner in adapting this world for television, especially creating a story centered around the sisterhood?
Mm. Well, I think it was very important to us consciously the whole way through that we wanted to create a story that would both um, be exciting for Dune fans, rewarding for Dune fans, that there were things that they would recognize and enjoy and get a charge out of, and we're very respectful of sort of the Dune universe, and we also wanted to create characters and a story that if this was your way in to the Dune universe, that you would also have an amazing time and also be excited and be able to discover the Dune lore, through our characters in this show. So that was really the needle we were trying to thread the whole time. And for me, I think the sure bet way that we just came back to again and again was to just tell our story, to tell it through our characters, one beat at a time, and to I don't know, to have a rich tapestry that's a Dune, but to also be able to understand, like, we're telling a story, like you said, of the rise of the Bene Gesserit. Where did they come from? Who started them? What's at play? And how is that going to affect, generations to come?
Dune is heavily grounded in themes of power, legacy, loyalty, destiny. How do these themes, of course, without spoiling anything, how do these themes play out through the eyes of the sisterhood?
Well, I think the sisterhood has a very interesting and complex relationship to power. And even though they're not a religious institution by any stretch, I do think of the Vatican as kind of a model, or in the sense of, like, this is an institution that has women acting as truth sayers around halls of power. They have the ability to tell truth from lies, so they're almost like human lie detectors, and they're in on all these negotiations because powerful people want somebody with them who can tell them when they're being lied to or when they're being deceived or when something's truthful. So on the one hand, they have access to a tremendous amount of information, and they're advising leaders, and they're shaping stories by sort of declaring things to be truthful or not truthful. And on the other hand, they're also teaching kids. They're also having relationships with people. They also take all that information they get, and they have a kind of more covert arm of the sisterhood where they're embedded and they're shaping the stories that we're told in ways that nobody might understand or anticipate. So they're in the shadows, they're next to power, they're public, they're private, so they have a lot of layers. And I think the fun thing about them is the more you learn about them, I think they retain that intrigue and that mystique that they have 10,000 years later when they're just showing up in their outfits and, shaping the whole narrative. And I think that we are going behind the veil to see who they are as women and their specific relationships to that institution. But they're endlessly intriguing as a subject.
Right on. Thank you for that, Alison. That's my time. Thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.